Hello, welcome to the new PlayBox Neo How to Get Ready to Play series. In this episode, Ingest, this is part 2 of the episode, we will go into advanced settings of the ingest process. So let's check where we left things last time. We did manual setup, we did file split up, set up our primary and secondary ingest formats, and so on. So this time we'll go and check something. If you remember, when we set up the server, there was a metadata template. This is a default setup here. I can select a different one if I made one, so we'll make one and see what it entails, the metadata inside the metadata template. Metadata templates are per instance of the ingest, and they're typically set for facility-wide purposes. It allows you to select different parameters that you want to be included in the metadata of the file, that other systems in your facility will read these tags and just make use out of it. So that's why this is set up per instance of the server. Okay, so let's say I'll go back to my ingest number 2 that I'm using for this demo, and I'll change the default to my template. Perfect. So let's go to the ingest and see what else we can do based on the templates, the schedules, and on the auto transfer functionality. So if you see here in your setup, I set up my input as you've seen before. I can select my preset naming template. You've seen how I did, let's say this is my test template I did in the previous video for the naming template. But you can see something here that it's called auto transfer template. What this setting is for, this determines what to happen with the file after it's been ingested. You can set up an auto transfer templates. I'll go to this one. I name it 1, 2, 3. I select the operations to be copy or move. Move if you want to free up your local storage and move files to another storage somewhere on the network, let's say, or just copy for, let's say, while the file is ingested, nobody has access to it. But once the ingest is finished, based on the, let's say, your auto split up or manual split up, once you split the file, it's considered finished. It's going to automatically get transferred, either copied or moved. And you decide where to go and put the storage. These are the storages I had defined previously. So I have this export setup. So if I put more parameters in the template name, for example, you've seen here the backslash. This will create folder inside the one that I set as destination. So it's going to be, and I put ingest title, which will be the I2, which is my ingest 2. That's the name of the ingest I'm using. So automatically we'll create subfolder with the name of the ingest, and all the files it transfers will be put there. The file naming is going to be governed by the file naming template that we've seen in the previous episode, how to do it. So let's go to our ingest. So right now we've been doing a manual ingest, but let's go and do some scheduled ingest. You have to confirm switching to that mode. So what this gives me immediately is what is on the input selected right now, and what is the next scheduled ingest job. Since I have nothing, it doesn't have any idea what this next thing is going to be. You will see in a second how this works. So let me create a schedule. I'll name it 1, 2, 3. For the time, it's today, but let's say let it start in 2 minutes time. Apply. Let's record 1 minute, and the splits will be every 30 seconds. I'm doing this so you can check. Metadata is the one file that I selected. You see I have 2 values here. Naming, again, the naming template is set up from, first you set up your input. You can make default this input always for scheduled capture. You can select your preset. You can select file naming preset, and the auto transfer preset is going to be the 1, 2, 3, the one that I created. And you will see how this is going to work after I schedule this recording. So it's going to start in like a minute or so while we're going here. And then in the meantime, let me go and create another capture, which is going to be same thing today, but it's going to be 10 minutes later. Apply. I'll check only my screen source, which is my capture from of the screen. It tells me that I didn't put duration. Of course, you have to put some duration. Let's say 5 minutes. Save. So now you see this is the schedule that we're expecting to be captured, and this is the next job coming right after it. So once any second right now we'll have, here it is. It started the capturing on the time, and let me open my export folder, and you will see after 30 seconds we'll do auto split, which can immediately will start transferring the first portion of this capture, and you will see it in a folder with the name of the ingest I2. If I think I scheduled only 1 minute of capture, I can add more time on the go. Let's say I press this button 5 minutes, added 5 more minutes, so the duration is 6 minutes right now. I can do it in increments of with different value. So you see it captured the first portion of the video, and it created one file, which is the first part of the file, and now it's gonna keep capturing until the 6 minutes total, and it's gonna give me the second portion of the file. Then we'll wait for this second job, which comes from another source, and you can see, you can monitor the input, let's say if it's a satellite feed or something, so you can monitor it and see what's going on there. The export function is very handy for transferring files to video editors, to other parts of your workflow process, in your infrastructure, so you can free up space if you wish on your capture machine, move it to a storage, move it to the video editor storage, and so on. Another function of the ingest is to use it in compliance mode. This will allow you to create compliance recordings for your channel. First, let's go to the presets, and for example the system comes with some ingest presets. I'll take a look at one. This is preset absolutely normal, like every other preset we created in the system, but in this one you have overlay channel name, overlay date and time, and in which quadrant. Bottom left is selected here because this is used only for compliance recordings. You can see it on these presets. Other presets, like for example, we used one for ingesting MPEG-4. For example, it says no overlay, obviously because we don't want this information in the video. So let's go back to our ingest number 2 in compliance mode. It records transport stream MPEG-2. You can set auto split on what chunks of time. This is set to 1 hour. keep the last 90 days. This allows the last 90 days to be captured. After that, it will start deleting files older than 90 days and keep adding new files. This is very handy for managing your storage. All you have to do is press ingest. It starts automatically. If I select the recorded already file, I can come here and you can see in the lower left corner the name of the ingest and the date and time of the recording. In the operations tab, you can see all the jobs that tasks that are associated with the particular mode. For example, these are all the file transfers done by this instance when, let's say, our template says at the end of the capture, transfer the file somewhere and so on, and you can get all the information. What is the format? For example, this one has an additional metadata file created. This is the main MXF file in this transfer, and so on. You can get all this info of the operation tasks created. Thank you very much for watching this video. Keep an eye for upcoming videos from the PlayBox Neo Suite how-to series. Get ready to play.